I had a conversation with my dad the other day, and my dad was asking me, he's like, son, sometimes I give you advice, but you don't listen. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Obviously, I'm alive here, I'm breathing, I follow your advice. If I didn't follow your advice, I'd be dead some years ago. And it got me thinking to myself after you asked me that question. I was like, everybody is trying to give everybody advice, but we're always reacting to something, or we're always comparing. We are always trying to put people in these boxes or what our ideas, and yet we don't even know, or we don't yet know that the true person that truly is. My overall problem wasn't my dad giving me advice. It was his perception that sometimes he comes with assumptions. I think a lot of time in his life, when it comes to listening, we have these preconceived assumptions that don't really matter, or that they don't really enhance our listening skills. I think as human beings, we should start putting our focus on becoming, instead of always trying to compare ourselves to other people and how they do it and their aesthetic. There's nothing wrong with being inspired by someone. There's nothing wrong with being able to adapt, to kind of have similarities, but trying to become another person that's like that, it's kind of tough. Nobody's perfect in this life. We all make mistakes. We all are trying to survive in the day, and sometimes we're not even certain what we are or what we're truly capable of. But that's the thing. That's the process. Sometimes in life, the hardest thing to do is to go through the process. Or sometimes the hardest step is just a step. I had that problem when I was growing up. I didn't really know where to envision myself. I didn't really know how to value the process. But once I start putting my ideas together, and I start being consistent, and I start being into the moment of the process, my whole life changed. My whole reality, I started thinking different. I always knew I was different to some degree. I always knew I never really fit into the mold, because slowly and growing up, I had my own identity. Too many times, if you don't go during the status quo, or too many times if you don't follow the herd, you're ostracized. You're put into a label of, oh, you're weird, you're lame, like how come you don't want to follow this and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna lie, sometimes even I do that, so I gotta hold myself accountable. But we must understand that everybody has their own individuality. You're not gonna know everything in this life. You're not gonna know. You might not have an idea, you might not know what your tomorrow is gonna be like, but all you can do right now is try to become. In order to become, you must understand that process. There's going to be days where you're not going to feel like you want to do it. There's going to be days where you feel like you're tired and wounded. There's going to be days where you ain't going to feel like you know yourself. But each step of the process is going to teach you different things. Always to be a student in life. Being a student in life is one of the most beautiful things I ever try to do. Even though I am still in college, but even outside of college, I'm consistently learning about relationships. I'm consistently learning about my strengths and weaknesses. I'm trying to beat myself who I was yesterday. And that's something that you should focus upon. Focus on the process of becoming. The answers are a simple process. Some things don't need to have complex equations. Some things don't need to have all the brain power. Sometimes you just need to step. A lot of times we go off of media and we get so overwhelmed because you got so many gurus trying to tell you, oh, how to get rich, how to do this, how to do that, 24/7. Well, let me ask you this. What about this? You ever ask yourself, do you truly love yourself? When's the last time you sit down and look in your mirror and say, you know what, I'm someone to be proud of? You ever looked in yourself and asked about your strengths and weaknesses? What are your goals? What are your hobbies? Where you see yourself? Most of the time, we don't know. That's why life is to be experienced. We're human beings. being. Being. I want to say it one more time. You're a human being. You're being. You don't even know your potential yet. You don't even know what growth you got. But there's everybody trying to put restrictions on the mind. And I kind of blame our educational system, because our education don't teach us to be producers. They teach us to be workers. They tell us the whole entire time that your whole reality is to wake up to work for someone else, or to wake up to chase this degree to become something. But why can't you become something while adjusting yourself to it? It's deeper, I know, but these are the questions we must ask ourselves if we want to get ourselves in the process of alignment. A lot of times we come from a place of scarcity. We think that a lot of times that we don't got enough, or we're just not good enough, and that's natural. Sometimes it's gonna happen, but you must tell yourself that, why can't I be the great? Why can't I go out here and get wealthy? Why can't I go out here and dominate? Being competitive is not that bad. You compete every single day, whether you like it or not. You're in this game. So ask yourself, how are you gonna have the best experience, or how are you gonna enhance your life? And it could be something simple. That's what the process is for. So ask yourself, what are you doing to enhancing your human potential or your human self? And the one thing you must do is you must focus on becoming. At the end of the day, you got to be the person to find your answers. And the only people can only lead you to the door. By the end of the day, the work and the effort all got to relies on you. What will you do today differently? That will be your guys' homework. Reflect on it. Think about it. Say it in the comments. I'm Robert College Kid, and I'm out. Peace.